All right, well, we will get started with that. Okay. Okay, awesome. Thanks everyone for being here. Today is our Winter Solstice themed yoga class. And the Winter Solstice takes place this Tuesday. And it, of course, marks the first day of winter. It's also, the significance is that it's the return of light. We transition from a shortening of days, leading from the summer solstice to the winter solstice, now transitioning into a lengthening of days from the winter solstice to the summer solstice. And this in itself has a lot of impact on our moods. This just helps to keep us positive and maintain a sense of feeling uplifted. So important rituals for the winter solstice is, of course, honoring the light, as well as letting go and clearing out what no longer serves you so that you can keep planting those seeds of intention. And then also the winter solstice is about daydreaming and really sort of starting to contemplate and dream about and be playful with what you are excited for the future. Maybe it's a trip in the spring or something that you're planning to do this summer. So with that, we will get started. We're going to turn the palms up, connect the index to the thumb, and then settle down into your roots and letting those roots grow deep into the earth, really rooting yourself into this bright, new, shiny season. There's so much light, so much to sparkle about in the winter time. We honor the sunlight, the moonlight, the starlight. We celebrate the snow crystals and the icicles. This is a really bright, shiny season. Let's welcome winter. And from your strong roots, allow the spine to lift and rise up out of the bowl of the pelvis, and the shoulders down the back. The chin is parallel to the floor. All four sides of the neck are long, and the crown of the head lifts up, lifting up to your pole star, your guide star, way out in the cosmos overhead. And let's bring our attention to the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra. The word hearth has its roots in the word heart. And the hearth, of course, is another name for the fireplace. So as we work with our deep breathing, let's breathe into our inner light, our inner fire, and allow it to brighten with each deep breath. So we'll work with our Durga breath to start. The inhale expands the belly and carries up to the chest and crown of the head. The exhale, we release the breath from the crown all the way down to the tailbone. Durga breath, the breath moves through the body in 3 parts. Feel the expansion on the inhale, the brightening. And on the exhale, allow yourself to soften and settle into the quiet stillness and the darkness within. At any point, you can initiate your Ujjayi breath, the ocean sounding breath. Good. Let's join the hands together at the heart center. What feels dark and heavy in your space? Are you able to clear that out? Let it go. What would you like to shine the light on? And what already feels full of light and brightness? What sparkles? So go ahead and start to align with an intention, something that helps you. Let this intention help you connect to that bright inner light, or the light of others, or just the brightness and the light all around with this sparkly winter season. Get clear with your intention. We'll chant Om 1 time, sending these intentions out into the universe. as well as planting them like a seed inside our hearts. Let's take a deep breath in together. Allow your deep breath to return. Touch the tips of the thumbs to the third eye point, touching here, Ajna chakra. Just a reminder that we shine the light of awareness inside. Don't worry about what your neighbor's doing. There's nobody to impress, nothing to prove. Rather, be yourself with each cycle of breath and let each breath really light up your internal hearth, brightening on the inside. Good. Tips of the thumbs to the heart, opening here, brightening here. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to move into our child's pose. So go ahead and start to gather yourself into child's pose. Child's pose is reminiscent of our first ever pose, curled up in the womb. Also sort of reminiscent of being a seed tucked into the soil. So here in your child's pose, deep breath in through the nose, exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. And whenever you exhale, just let go, clear out whatever it is. Deep breath in, exhale, sigh it out. Whatever is keeping you from being present, whatever feels heavy in your space. This is a time of year, there's a lot, the holidays demand a lot of us. There's a lot of expectations. Let's just clear that all out, the demands and expectations. Plus, of course, we've got the added pandemic and everything else. So it is just natural to feel a little slower, a little heavier this time of year. There's nothing wrong with that. Go ahead and roll the head from side to side and rub the worry lines away, massaging the eyebrows, the brow ridge. And then let's start to cultivate that deep breathing, really infusing yourself with breath. And with each inhale, allowing that to feed your heart, to brighten your inside so that you can beam and sparkle just like the snow crystals, just like the shiny icicles. Whenever you're ready on an inhale of choice, you're going to walk the hands forward, find your downward facing puppy. Maybe curl the toes under. Let's keep the elbows up off the ground, ears in line with the upper arms. Sometimes I like to tense my hands, lifting my wrists up off the ground, moving in two directions here. Yeah, gazing straight down, ears in line with upper arms, letting the side body get nice and long. Good. And then when you're ready, inhale brings us up to hands and knees. And before we cycle into cat-cow, let's move from side to side, almost as like you are a fish swimming through some cold river waters. Just getting that nice side to side. And so what we're doing here is we're bringing our head towards our hip, right? So if the left hip is moving to the side, the head's moving towards it so that you're really getting a nice side bend. And then you can start to transition into your cat and cow. Inhale to look up. Exhale, press the floor away, round and stretch the back. Maybe the eyes move in the shape of a pendulum going from the ceiling to the heart, or maybe the eyes are closed. And just let these two actions of extension and flexion massage out anything that feels stuck in your space, anything that feels heavy, anything that feels like a burden. Let yourself get clear and light. Embracing these lengthening of days, moving into the light half of the calendar year. Good. Well, I'll meet up looking up in our cow pose. Curl the toes under, lift the hips and knees, and bring the belly towards the top of the quad. So this is our shortened downward dog. Really focusing on lengthening the spine here. And then at any point, you can wiggle the feet back, opening up your dog, and let's bring the stretch into the legs, bending one knee at a time. Really important to initiate the breath and let the movement follow. Allow permission to slow down. Permission to let go of the hurry and the worry. Permission to put your to-do list down. And full permission to be yourself with each cycle of deep breath. You can stay here for as long as you'd like. Whenever you're ready to transition, you're going to come back down onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, we're going to send that left foot out. Now, you might want to have blocks. Sometimes it can be nice to have blocks under either hand. Maybe you do that, maybe you don't. You can just feel it out for yourself. I really like a blanket underneath my knee, especially because we're going to be on our knees for a little bit. So if your knee is talking to you, then feel free to give it some extra support. Just make sure that the ankle and the knee are in line and the second toe points straight ahead. So we're getting an inner thigh stretch here. And you can accentuate that inner thigh stretch by pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. You can see what that feels like. So we want to protect the stretch by planting the heel and tracking the heel towards the knee. Notice how that creates that container of support as we lengthen the inner thigh. So breathing here, being with those sensations. If you need a little bit more, you can always slide the heel away. But once you do, pause, track the heel towards the knee again. Good. From here, we're going to come up into a variation of warrior two. So you'll plant the foot down if it's not. So bring your hands to your hips. Good. And then the arms come to shoulder height. We gaze over the right middle finger. Yeah, it's a variation on warrior two. Settle the shoulders down. Keep planting that left foot and tracking it towards the knee. And then from here, left hand to the hip, right palm turns up, arc it up and over, side bend. Breathe into the right rib cage. Good, and then exhale, left hand down, right hand down. We're gonna stack shoulders. You might need to pivot the leg behind you. Towards the left thumb or anywhere between right and left thumb. You can stay here or you can lift that left leg up. Keep it flat, flex the foot. Yeah. Yes. Good. Fingertips point towards the windows, the big windows, the bay window side of the room. Good. Okay, let's put the foot down and we'll arc the left arm over the ear. Really breathing into the left rib cage here. Yeah, nice side bend again. Good. Exhale, bring it down in front. Settle. Center. What does your body need? Does it need some cat-cow? Does it need some side to side? Does it need some dog or a child's pose? Or maybe it needs stillness. And then whenever you're ready to transition, we'll do the other side. So we get the right leg out. Maybe you work on your blocks here. We're planting the pinky edge of the foot, inner thigh, or inner arch lift, inner thigh is really strong. You can get a little more stretch here by pivoting the toes up. Good, you can slide the heel away if that feels okay, but really be mindful of, we don't want to overstretch any of our joints. That's why we keep that container of strength, tracking the heel back towards the knee. Good, and then when we're ready to build the pose, the foot comes down, hands come to the hips. We're gazing past our left shoulder, and then you can bring the arms up. So it's like we've found ourselves right in between two seasons. We've got fall at our back and bright, shiny winter season in front. Good, from here, the right hand comes to the hip, the left palm turns up, arc it back. Breathe into the left rib cage. Enjoying the stretch. Exhale, yoga cartwheel, left hand down, right arm stack. You can come up onto your toes, or maybe you come all the way up, flexing the foot. Imagine there's an imaginary wall behind you. Right, and be that starburst. This is a preparation for half moon. And then we can put the foot down and arc. Just let the upper arm cascade over the ear. Really breathing into that right rib cage here. 2 deep breaths. Good. Exhale, bring it down. Allow your body to move organically. Maybe it's your cat cow, maybe it's your dog, maybe it's your child. We will all meet up in downward dog whenever you feel ready for that. So turning off the thinking mind and feeling your way into your space. And with each breath, breathing into your heart, letting your heart, your inner light really brighten here. Sparkle. Good. When you're ready, you're going to step walk or jump up, top of the mat. Hands to the shins, lengthen gaze ahead, lengthen the back of the legs, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. You can do this as many times as you'd like. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold, or maybe you want to pause in one position or the other. We will all meet up in a forward fold eventually. So from your forward fold here, you can shake the head out. No, no, no. No to any negative thoughts. No, no, no to letting the sort of heaviness or darkness of this time of year weigh on you. Let's let all that out, clear it off. And yes, yes, yes to celebrating the light, to celebrating the snow crystals and the icicles, to celebrating one another. Yes, yes, yes to the many little things that we do each day, because it's the little things that matter most. Cross the arms, hold the elbows, let the weight of the arms help to stretch the upper back. You can play with bending the knees really deeply or just a little bend. So just kind of be that explorer. Carry a positive attitude with you and be open to new discoveries. Playfulness, humor. And then letting the arms hang, kind of press through the feet. Let's start to curl up. If your toes are really kind of grippy on the floor, then lift those toes up. Exhale, shoulders down the back. We'll do a few of these shoulder rolls. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, take it back, just shrugging off any heaviness. And then you can start to stretch your chickadee wings or your little bird wings. Good. And then you can always open it up and really let yourself take flight and soar. And coordinate this movement with your breath. Good. Inhale up. Exhale back. Good. Let's stand tall. Mountain pose, Tadasana, feet hip width apart. Second toe point straight ahead. Lots of rooting through the feet. Kneecaps draw up the legs. The legs are really toned. You're pressing your feet toward the outer edge of the mat here. Shoulders are down the back. Tailbone curls down slightly. Mula Bandha is engaged. Gaze is lifted. We've got that mountain top view. Press through the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, dive down. Inhale, gaze ahead. Exhale, step that left foot back. Take a moment of here to place the left knee down. Point the back toes as you build your pose. Hands to the knee, hips draw back. Tailbone curls down. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you bring the arms up. Take a moment to settle, to breathe. Each inhale allows for that brightening and expansion through the body. And each exhale allows us to settle into the quiet of the pose. Two more deep breaths here. Good, exhale, touch it down, back toes curl under, back knee lifts up. Tip the foot up a little bit. We're gonna do our high lunge now, hands to the knee, right hip tracks back, press the floor away, scoop the tailbone down, create space in the lower back, and then inhale, arms up. Careful with those toes, be mindful of your toes, no gripping toes. Settle the shoulders. Each posture is a whole body expression. Every piece works in harmony to create and maintain the shape of the pose, and then within the shape, let the energy flow. Notice where you're holding on and release that. Notice where you need more attention and bring attention there. Exhale, touch it down. That front foot steps back. Here we are in plank. Take a moment to pause in plank, powering up here. I love plank pose for sparking the fire and the energy here. Tune into your resilience, your inner strength. Use your strong breath to support this posture, to sustain it. And exhale, touch the knees down. Hips draw back, downward facing puppy. Moment of pause. If you prefer to pause in a child's pose or a dog pose, you can certainly do that. Yoga practice is always a choose your own adventure practice. That means practice in a way that feels really good to you, where you can meet the challenge without overdoing it, where you can practice in a kind and considerate way, unconditional love for yourself. No judgment, no comparisons. Good, we're gonna come back to hands and knees. This time we'll step that left foot forward. Point the back toes, scissor the legs, hands to the knees, draw the hips back. Find your balance point here, and if it's available, sweep the arms up. Soften the shoulders, gazing up, settle in. Face muscles are relaxed, gaze is steady above eye level. Expand through the fingertips, the palms are like little suns, beaming light. Good. Exhale, touch it down. Back toes curl under, back knee lifts up. You might shorten your stance a little bit. I know I like to. And then we're going to build the pose again. High lunge. Hands can pause at the knee. Find your balance. Curl the tailbone down. And then inhale, arms up. So that the strength of your legs, right? A strong lower body creates a solid foundation for that light lifted upper body. No tension in the upper body. Lots of strength in the lower body. Feel the breath, expand the belly and ripple out through the fingertips. So much of our yoga is surfing the wave of the breath. Good, exhale, touch it down. We're gonna step back into plank. You can always have the knees down to support. Little rounding in the back helps to tone the belly. Push the fingertips into the floor and then draw energy up from the earth, through the palms, up through the arms to help support. Good, gaze forward, knees come down, chest and chin. Point the toes, slide the hands back. We're gonna inhale, curl it up. Exhale, come on down. We'll do this a few times, warming up the spine. Inhale. If you prefer Sphinx, you certainly can move in that direction too. One more. Inhale, floating up. Exhale, coming down, curling the toes, plant the knees, lift the pelvis, reverse your push-up, and then let's find a child's pose. And just taking a moment to soften and settle here, hips into the heels. Breathing into your back. Each inhale, expanding the back towards the ceiling. Each exhale, softening and releasing. Opportunity to sit with your intention for today. Good, and then we're going to do a few partial sun salutations, half sun salutations. So on your next inhale, you're going to come on up, shoulders stack over the wrist, curl the toes, gaze forward, exhale, come on down. Inhale, find your back bend. Exhale, take it back to downward facing puppy. We'll do this a few times. So whenever you're ready, the inhale, stack shoulders over wrist. The exhale brings us down. The inhale curls us up. Exhale, release. And inhale, downward facing puppy. Now do another two and go at your own pace. Find your own flow. Don't worry about what it looks like. Turn off the thinking mind and just feel your way into the poses, choosing to breathe first and let the movement follow. And then from your downward facing puppy, you can scoot up to downward facing dog. Notice the heat you've gathered and ignited through those actions. Half sun salute. We're going to gaze forward. We're going to step, walk, or jump up, top of the mat. Hands to the shins, lengthen, gaze ahead. Exhale, forward fold, and inhale, root to rise. Come on up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now we'll do a few half sun salutations from standing. So inhale, bring up the sun. Exhale, forward fold, bow to the sun. Inhale, gaze ahead. This time we're going to exhale, forward fold, and then root to rise. We'll come right back up, bringing up the sun. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll do this again. This time let's bring up the moon. Exhale, bow to the moon. Inhale, gaze ahead to the bright shining moon. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Bring up the moon. Exhale, hands to the heart. Once again, inhale, bring up the stars. Exhale, bow to the stars. Inhale, gaze ahead to the sparkly stars. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Bring up the stars. And exhale, hands to the heart. Take a moment to just pause here. Breathe here. Be yourself here. Connect to your intention here. What feels light and alive in your space in this moment? Opening the eyes, inhale, bring up the arms, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, gaze ahead. This time we're going to step that left foot back. We'll bring the back knee down. Great opportunity to use blocks. We're going to pivot at the heel, straightening the leg, taking the hip back for our runner stretch. So deep, flex that right foot as best you can. That will bring more stretch up the back of the leg. Imagine that your foot is on an imaginary surface. So we don't want to turn the ankle. Good, great way to stretch the hamstrings here. Point the toes. Top of the ankle gets a nice stretch. Good. From here, we're going to step forward. Bring your blocks forward. Back knee lifts up. We're going to step that back foot up a little bit. And we're going to bring the heel down. So you're actually shortening your stance quite a bit. Let's bring the heel down and the front foot down. So we're prepping for triangle pose. But before we go into triangle pose, let's lift and spread the toes here. If you've got a rounded back, you can always stack your blocks and come up a little bit more to get more space for the stretch in your leg. Okay, from here, we're going to pivot into our triangle. So you have your block to the pinky edge of your foot. Again, you can work with 2 blocks. Nothing wrong with 2 blocks. 2 blocks are twice as helpful. Hand to the hip, and we're just going to stack our shoulders here. Good. And then you can start to send the arm up. So really important. Keep that right hip tracking back, right? So that the side body stays long. Good. Root down through your feet and your right hand to rise up through everything else. Imagine that you have a wall behind your head and your shoulders and your hips. Yeah, and you can always rotate the block to a lower level as you establish yourself in the pose. Fall is behind us. Winter is shining bright, right out in front of us. Good. From here, we're going to move into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So left hand to the left hip, bend the right knee, walk your block forward, pivot your weight onto your right foot, and then you're just going to start to float that left leg up. Flex the foot. That's really key here. If you need support to stay balanced, you can always keep the front knee bent and the toe down. Good. And then the challenge becomes to stack the shoulders, gazing past the left thumb, breathing the whole time, right? The breath is balanced. Half moon. Good. Exhale, we're going to bring both hands down. Forward fold over that standing leg. Point the toes on the lifted foot. Find your forward fold. If you want to find a balance option here, you can take one hand to the standing leg, or perhaps both hands, and find your balance. Good. Both hands come down to the floor. Both feet come down to the floor. Forward fold here. Shake it out. Take out the head. No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. Maybe rock the body a little bit from side to side. Just let yourself soften here. Good. Let's root to rise. Shine up. Exhale, hands to the heart. One hand to the heart, one to the belly. A nice sweet embrace here. Welcome, winter. Inhale, sweep up the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, gaze ahead. And then let's send that right foot back. We're going to bring the right knee down. I highly encourage you to use two blocks here. And we're going to draw the left hip back, straightening the leg. So flexing that left foot. You can adjust the foot as you need to find your starting point. And then from here, we want the side body to remain nice and long. The spine is upright. We're folding at the left hip crease as we lift the tailbone up and draw the heart forward. Maybe there's a lot of bend in your knee and you're working towards straightening the leg. Maybe there's just a micro bend in the knee. Little bend helps to protect the joint from hyperextension. And we'll point the toes. And then we'll step forward. Back knee lifts up. We're going to close our stance. So here we are in our pyramid pose to start, just folding straight over the legs, bringing the legs into the triangle position, and then block to the pinky edge of the foot, right hand to the hip, stack the shoulders, keep the left hip drawing back, keep the head up in line with the spine. Imagine that you've got a wall behind you. If you're close to a wall and you want to really feel the wall behind you, you can always set up at the wall. Right arm lifts up. And you can be looking, your gaze is anywhere from the left big toe to the right thumb. Settle into the pose, making sure that you're not gripping, there's no tension. There's stability and steadiness. Good. Exhale, the right hand comes to the hip, the left knee bends. We're going to step that block forward and you're going to spring off the back foot. Here's our half moon. If you want to tip the block down and come down, you can certainly do that. And then we stack. Really important to flex the right foot and keep lifting it high to the sky. This will allow for the balance. Good, and then whenever the knee is strong, both hands come down to the floor to blocks. Fold right over that standing leg, point the toes on the lifted foot. Hello, leg. Added challenge would be to bring one hand to the standing leg and then the other to balance here. Good, exhale, hands down, both feet on the floor. Forward fold, maybe it's an active forward fold, maybe it's a passive. Maybe you wrap the arms right around the legs, giving your whole self a hug. We're all gonna meet up in our child's pose, so you can start to head in that direction. Of course, you can always be resting flat on your belly if child's pose isn't comfortable, or in your seated pose. So breathing into your back here, embracing a moment of pause, a moment of rest. Recognizing too that time spent in darkness is healing, right? It's a necessary part of the process. The baby in the womb, the seed in the soil, the thoughts in the recesses of the mind. And now we shift to the lighter half of the year. Let's breathe deeply here, charging up our inner fire, letting our inner light shine bright. When you're ready, we're gonna come, what are we gonna do next? Let's do dolphin pose. So let's come onto our forearms. You're gonna cross the arms and hold the elbows. You'll interlace the fingers, bring the pinky to the inside of the interlaced hand. That just means we don't want to squish that little pinky. And then from here, you're going to find a downward dog variation. So you're doing your dog on your forearm. A lot of strengthening here in the upper back. You can either be looking straight down to your yoga mat in between your arms, or you can take your gaze between your big toes. Good. Exhale, let's bring the knees down. And now let's bring the top of the head onto the floor. And you can either stay here, just kind of getting a new perspective, head on the floor, or you can again lift the hips up and find this downward dog expression. If you are familiar with headstand, you can head in that direction, but no kicking up. Then when the need is strong to take a break, come on down and give yourself a break. Maybe you take a break in child's pose, or maybe you take a break in Virasana, sitting on your heels. And just taking that moment for centering, for meditation. Each posture is a meditation. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to come to sit. And we'll send the legs out in front. And we'll just pulse the legs against the floor, giving a nice massage to the legs. Good. And then we'll do 3 turns of the ankle in one direction. And we'll switch it up and do 3 rotations in the other. Good. Bend the knees, feet wide apart, windshield wiper here. Nice massage here for the sitting muscle tissue around the sitting bones. We'll meet up in a twist to towards the windows to the right. So knee to the foot, hand comes to the right knee, start to spin. Finish the twist in the eyeballs, rotating the eyeballs into the top right-hand corner. Good. Inhale, center, other side. foot to the knee, hand comes across. The left hand that's on the floor is pressing the floor away. It's pretty close to the body, so you can stay upright. Chin moves towards the direction of the left shoulder, and the eyeballs float into the upper left-hand corner. Good. Inhale, center. Let's send the left leg out in front and the right heel tucks in. Bring the leg right out from the hip. Flex the foot. You're standing on that imaginary surface, hand behind you, bend the knee, track the heel back. Good. If you've got a lifted knee, then go ahead and put a blanket or a block under it so that you can find your contact point, your anchor for the pose. And then we're going to forward fold on the exhale. Each inhale, there's that brightening, there's that expansion. You lengthen and inflate with breath. You'll naturally come up. But then the exhale allows you to soften and release. Hands can come forward as long as the heart is moving forward too. So tips of the shoulder blades towards each other to move the heart forward. Hands can come on the body as long as it's with tender loving care and not pulling or forcing or pushing or grabbing. Settle in for 4 deep breaths. Good. Inhale will bring us up after your 4 breaths. We'll plant either the right foot can stay planted to the hip edge, or you could cross it over. So really, it's really important that both sitting bones are on the ground. Sometimes we cross over and we've lost the sitting bone connection. Left hand in front, wraps around the knee. Right hand behind you, presses the floor away. Exhale to twist. Hugging the leg towards the body. Staying active through that left extended leg. And just allowing yourself to wring out, squeeze out, massage out what no longer serves. Maybe it's known to you or maybe it's unknown. Just open to this opportunity for release, for cleansing. Each cycle of breath is an opportunity to begin again. Nobody's perfect. Each moment we show up, we are doing the best that we can do. Inhale, bring it back, center. Let's send the right leg, tuck the left heel. Be sure to give yourself the necessary support. Hands behind you, flex the foot, plant the heel, track the heel towards the body. So feel on the inhale, the side body getting long. Exhale, forward fold. So inhale, it's like the spine is lifting up out of the bowl of the pelvis. And you're surfing that wave of breath. It's very fluid. There's no rigidity. Nothing is tense. Right? There's this balance point between strengthening and holding and creating that strong container of support, and then letting the fluidity of the breath move through all areas of the body. Four deep breaths here, settling in. When we do our forward folds, they help us come inside. So if you're feeling like you're really being pulled in a lot of directions and have a lot of focus, in the future or outside yourself, forward folds can really get you back in your body. Inhale will lift us up. We'll find our twist. So maybe you're twisting with your foot here, or maybe you're twisting with your foot across. You're going to wrap the hand around the knee, pull the knee forward as you exhale, twist back, moving in 2 directions, creating that cleanse. And then as you maintain the twist, you can start to twist a little deeper. Maybe your elbow Maybe your knee goes kind of in between where your elbow pit is. Maybe your elbow goes onto the outer edge of the knee. Squeeze it out, whatever it is. The winter solstice is a celebration of cleansing and releasing, letting go of the old ways. Every cycle of breath is a chance to begin again, a fresh start. Good. Inhale, let's bring it back to center. And then from here, we'll do some boat pose. So I like to do it with a block. I think it brings more attention to your inner thigh to help with support the pose. The hands are going to be behind you to start. You're on your heels. And maybe this is where you stay. There's a lot going on here, especially as you squeeze the block. Maybe you start to float your boat and you lift the toes up. Keep the gaze pretty high up. And the focus here is on closing the gap between the leg and the belly. So try to close the gap. Try not to be in an extended, really long sculling vessel, but we're in a little stocky rowboat. The dinghy. Okay, so you can stay here or extra challenge, let go of those legs. Maybe you're ready for that challenge. Maybe today you need that extra support. And then you can start to lift the toes up. Each exhale, hug it in. Good, touch down. Soles of the feet together. Heels in, hands behind. Press the knees down. Lengthen here, maybe you stay here. Maybe you come forward. Maybe you open up your foot book. Maybe the knees are really high and you're using your elbows to gently draw them down. Baddha Konasana. Cobbler's pose. So this is an active forward fold, right? We're pressing the pinky edges of our feet towards each other. We're actively pressing our knees down. Maybe use a block underneath your forehead. No tension. Deep breathing. Good. Inhale to bring it up. So let's face the back of the room and we'll come down to lay on our backs. Have any props that you like to have close by? We will be using a block for some bridge support. So first laying all the way down onto your back and just giving yourself a moment of rest here, a moment of pause. What does your mind do at this point in the practice? How does your body receive this point in the practice? Anytime we lay down upon the earth and our body has more contact with the ground, it's very grounding. Again, if you're feeling all jazzed up by the energy of the holidays, simply laying down on the ground helps us get rooted, gives us that necessary support to relax. Good. From here, let's bend the knees, place the feet to the floor. You're going to find one or two blocks and place them underneath your lower back. So I would have the block in the middle height. Try it like that. And sometimes I like two blocks, side by side, not stacked on top of each other, but side by side in medium height. This gives more surface area for your back. Or if you have two of the thin blocks, you could stack them on top of each other at the medium height. Yeah, okay, and then let's walk the tips of the shoulder blades towards each other, creating the pillow for the heart. Make sure to lift the chin to the ceiling so that it's not flattening into the chest. And then just accentuating the curve in the back of the neck, and then let the chin rest in the neutral position. So a little effort to lift the chin up, and then let it rest into neutral. Turn the palms up. Yeah, that helps to open the chest. Good. Let's do some deep breathing into the belly. Each inhale, the belly expands out in all directions. Each exhale, the belly releases. This pose is so beneficial for the back, for the sacral area, right? We're helping those ligaments that connect the triangle structure of bone at the lower back to, the ligaments are kind of affixed to the front of the pelvis, front side. And we're just letting them expand slightly. So common for our lower backs to round as we sit and stand. And so this just counters any rounding in the lower back, bringing some flexibility into the lower back. A wonderful thing about restorative poses is they're not big poses, right? Sometimes we have to get out of the way of our own healing. Just set yourself up and let your body do its work. So you can stay right here if you'd like, or you can remove your blocks and practice an active bridge by and so you would take the block and you put it in between your knees and you'd squeeze the block with your knees. And then you'd lift the hips up. Yeah. Feet are hip width apart. So let's keep those ankles underneath the knees. Very good. Yeah, that's right. So you're going to press the floor away with the feet. So on the inhale, press the floor away. Feel the pelvis get a little bit more buoyant. Now on the exhale, hug the heels towards the shoulders, right? So it's almost like you're again surfing that wave of breath. There's a circular action here. Inhale, press the floor away with the feet. Exhale, hug the feet towards the shoulders, tailbone towards the knees. Stay grounded through the shoulders and back of the head. These are your anchor points. And when the knee is strong, you can slowly come on down. Soles of the feet together, knees out. Great opportunity for a block under each knee. And I just want to read to you a poem called Winter's Cloak. It's a co-author here, Joyce Rupp and Macrina Weidecker. I don't think I pronounced her last name correctly. This year, I do not want the dark to leave me. I need its wrap of silent stillness, its cloak of long-lasting embrace. Too much light has pulled me away from the chamber of gestation. Let the dawns come late. Let the sunsets arrive early. Let the evenings extend themselves while I lean into the abyss of my being. Let me lie in the cave of my soul, for too much light blinds me, steals the source of revelation. Let me seek solace in the empty places of winter's passage, those vast dark nights that never fail to shelter me. As we slow down here at the end of practice, softly drawing inward, we recognize the patterns that light follows dark, day follows night, awake follows rest. We need the balance of both. And we function the best when we are connected to the cycles and rhythms of nature, connected to the celestial bodies. Welcome, winter. In your own time, when you feel ready, you can slide the legs down onto the floor, nice and straight. And then maybe you start to navigate towards your Shavasana, or maybe you want to do a nice deep twist before heading into Shavasana. It's really your choice. In your own time, when you do feel ready to head in the direction of Shavasana, do expend that extra energy and effort to get completely comfortable here. To really set yourself up for a nice, deep relaxation pose. Sometimes this time of year, since we're all wearing hats, it can be nice to put a hat over your head and over your eyes. There's lots of extra blankets. If you'd like an extra blanket, I'd be happy to bring one over to you. Just put a hand up. Bolsters can be nice underneath the knees. This is our most important pose of the practice. This is when we receive, right? And this pose is all about letting go, softening. So once you're settled onto your yoga mat, get out any of those little last minute wiggles and twitches and fidgets and itches, right? We expend the extra energy and effort to get comfortable here so that we can really give ourselves the gift of stillness. Stillness is tough, it's hard. But when the earth is blanketed by snow, that just creates such a quiet space, and we can embrace that. Yourself be blanketed by snow. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. And deep inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Letting go everything that no longer serves. You can do as many of these cleansing breaths as you need. And we'll let go of our Ujjayi breath and our Durga breath, and just let your natural peaceful breath ebb and flow as you enter into this deep state of relaxation. Eyes closed, eyeballs soften down and back inside the socket. All the muscles across the forehead and temples soften and release. The brain is relaxed, nothing to solve or fix. Permission to flip the switch of the brain to off. Ears melt from the sides of the head down to the floor. All the muscles in the face, especially around the lower jaw, soften and release. And let the tongue float in the mouth. All the muscles in the neck, throat, and shoulders soften and release. All tension here in these areas melt away. Surrender the weight of both arms into the support of the earth. Nothing to hold on to here. Just put it all down. And instead, let yourself be held by your yoga practice, by your awareness, by Mother Earth. Feel Mother Earth cradling you as you soften through the elbows, wrists, and palms. As you melt the muscles in the back from the bones down to the floor, and with it melting away all tension, all expectations. Softening, softening here. Brightening and brightening here. Sense your heart space and let it be a vision of this beautiful flower in full bloom, so full of sweet nectar, glistening, sparkly like the snow. So much love here. and patience too. And then resting awareness into the belly. Notice the gentle ebb and flow of the breath. The inhale expands the belly. The exhale releases the belly. No tension in the belly, no holding here. Full acceptance of the belly. Lower back softens and releases. And the big muscles of the legs melt from the bones down to the floor. Soften knees, ankles, and feet. Surrendering the weight of both legs into the earth and surrendering the weight of the entire body into the earth. Allowing yourself to imprint on the snow like an angel. And just drawing attention inside. Connecting to all those tingling sensations and vibrations, all that sparkling energy inside. Let it simmer throughout the body. This is your healing energy. Welcome healing. Keeping the eyes closed, begin to deepen the breath. Gently wiggle fingers and toes. And just allow the mind to resurface with each deep breath. You can turn the head from side to side gently. And whenever you feel ready, reach the arms up overhead along the floor and reach the feet away. Full body stretch, full body awakening. Maybe interlace the fingers, turning the palm. Stretching out, embracing the length and the space that you've created through your yoga practice. You can roll legs in and out and circle ankles. And whenever you feel ready, gather the knees to the chest. Wrap the arms right around the legs. Give your whole self a hug. Your entire being gets a hug. Full acceptance here of your entire being and of all the many decisions that have led to this moment in time. I accept. Send some words of encouragement inside. Roll over onto your right side. Use your upper arm as a pillow. Cradle the head. Curl the knees into the chest. Fetal position, our original pose. And with an attitude of gratitude, give thanks to the fall season with all its harvest and all its colors and all its nutrients. And give thanks to the upcoming season of winter, this quiet season of rest, but also sparkles and lights and clear skies and bright stars. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and press yourself up to sit, finding that comfortable seated position. And once you find your meditation seat, go ahead and settle into it. Let this seat be your throne. You're an energetic being full of so much vitality and power and goodness, so much light. Cultivate your strong roots, establish that sense of grounding so that you can lengthen and lift up through the heart space, through the crown of the head. Scan the body from head to toe. How does the body respond to yoga today? Check in with the mind. How did the mind respond to yoga today? And settle awareness into the heart, perhaps even embrace the heart with both hands. How are you feeling in this moment? Acknowledging these three centers, body, mind, and heart, this helps us to validate our yoga experience, recognizing that the work and the tools that we wield in yoga are here to support us in our day-to-day lives as well. Join the hands together, palms to touch. Connect to your intention. And let's carry this intention with us into the next phase of our day and into the winter season. We'll chant Om 3 times. Bowing the head to the heart. Keeping the fire of your heart, your hearth stoked and full of light. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste, neighbors on all sides. Namaste to the Zoomers. Thank you. Bye.
Namaste.
Happy holidays.
Thank you, Sophie.
Namaste. You're welcome.